This one for WWE champions. Pay to win like every day, yeah.
I don't play mobile games.
Funny how they still think I'm a broke man.
Then I'm broke.
Even though I be pulling Hogan's. I spent like 40 grand on a couple thousand pictures of some sweaty men.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, Philomania is running wild. As you know, this is a new meme that I've been running with for a few weeks, ever since we started talking about the WWE Champions thing and me playing the game and the like, okay? And I made this shirt based off of a viewer who said, hey, Phil, I made this logo for you, and I want you to have it, and you have the rights to it. I'm giving you all the rights, and you can do whatever you want with it. So I went ahead and I made some merch out of it, including this t-shirt and this bandana that ended up not being a bandana, but more like a freaking sheet. So I just put it over here as part of my setup, which is great. Now, in regards to this, okay, basically what happens is my detractors, who are pieces of human feces, I mean, one of them literally is named Duty, okay, basically want to ruin every possible thing that's positive for me, right? Because they know, well, we don't have the WWE Champions thing anymore. We don't have the accusing him of grooming and pedophilia anymore. We don't have this. We don't have that. Basically, the opposite of what they thought was going to happen with the June the King documentary has happened. They thought the documentary would end me. In reality, the documentary vindicated me because it showed that I haven't done anything over the years to warrant the level of A-logging and harassment that I've gotten. People like me now, and they can't handle it. They're like, oh shit, all of our ammo is gone. Okay? So what they've done is they've tried to focus on the smallest minutia, the stupidest little things, to try to stir up drama where it doesn't exist. And in this case, they've seen me wearing this Philomania shirt now, and they're upset that people like the meme. And in fact, what happened was, over the last week, some people have expressed a big desire to buy Philomania merch. They want Philomania shirts, Philomania mugs, Philomania hoodies. Like, yeah, Philomania is cool. We want it. So, as you know, I told you this a day or two ago. No, a couple days ago, I showed you the merch samples. I'm working with a merchandise company. And very soon, we might be set up and ready to go. Okay, so I'll let you know more about that in a little bit. I'd like to talk about the Philomania logo first. Then I'll tell you a little bit about update about this merch company. Okay? So, here's what my detractors are saying. Phil stole the Philomania logo. He absolutely has stolen this logo, okay? There's absolutely no way that Phil owns that logo, and therefore, if he makes any merch, you know, he's in big trouble. So what they ended up doing is they scoured the internet, because again, these are no-life losers. So they scoured the entire internet, trying to find someone who may, over the years, have used a Philomania logo, all right? And they found someone who did use one very long ago. Probably, I think it was over a decade ago. All right. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with anything, basically. It actually has to do with some Bandcamp project that we're going to look at in a second. And what they actually did, they reached out to this guy on Bandcamp, and they've basically convinced him that I'm stealing his logo. All right. So he made a comment on a video where I was showing off I think he was showing off merch of the Philomania shirt. I'm not sure which video it was. And he says, so you took my logo, and you know, all I want is a shout out, and then you can use it. To which I responded, I don't owe you a shout out because I didn't take your logo. I didn't get this logo from you at all. It's from someone else. Okay? And you don't own the trademark to it unless you can prove that you own a trademark to this logo. You have no rights to it whatsoever. But nice try. So, that's where I left it. But of course, my detractors have to try to turn this into a big thing. So they contact the guy, they're egging him on, they're working on all this shit, right? They literally want me to give a shout out for something that I didn't take from anyone. All right? The logo, this logo you're seeing right here, I have receipts from where it came from, how I'm using it, and that it's all legal, and that absolutely no one has the rights to this logo. Okay, are you ready? We're going to go through it. All right? So first off, the first thing I will show you is the oops, what did I do? I picked the wrong thing. I always go to the wrong mouse. The first thing I will show you is that this is where all this is stemming from. An old Bandcamp thing, some digital audio album from like over a decade ago. Okay. And it's just sitting there. Okay. So there you go. And what's hilarious about this, first of all, here's the logo. All right. Do you notice something about the logo versus mine? Sure, it's not the same logo. You can see that the P is clearly different. There actually isn't. It's not exactly the same. It's similar. It's using a similar font, but it's not the same logo. All right. There's also a trademark symbol here at the end of the logo. And we're going to explore this in just a second. So don't worry. I actually don't want you to forget about that it says trademark at the end of the logo. Okay. I just want you to think about that for a second. Right. Okay. So this is what it's from. Apparently a Bandcamp page from over a decade ago. Literally nothing on this page proves anything at all. Okay? Nothing. Anyone can make a page like this and put any logo up and say it's trademarked. This is no evidence of anything whatsoever. This is just silliness is what this is. Okay? But this is what my detractors are basing their new drama argument over. All right? Absolutely ludicrously stupid. So, what I'm going to show you now, this is where the logo comes from. A website called thefont.com. All right. It's called Hogan Mania. It has been on this website for ages. Okay. And if you take a little look right here, it says right here on the website, this is free for personal use, which is actually how I've been using it. I've been using it in merch that I have here only for me, for my personal use. I have it on artwork. That's how I use it. Okay. There you go. Now, personal $10 donation for a commercial use, right? By the way, first seen on DeFont November 17th, 2013. It has been on this website for 11 years. 11 years. Okay? So, for a $10 donation, you can use it for commercial use. And there's the download and donation button. I donated $10. At first, I didn't, admittedly. The logo, the font was used just for personal use, but now that I'm actually getting set up to sell it as like merch on a business, I have donated the $10, and this is 100% ready and lined up to be used. And in fact, just to show you guys the evidence that is Hogan Mania is the name of the logo and everything, here it is in Photoshop as being used by the person who made it for me. All right, as you can see, the logo is not the same as the one previous. Let's take a look. Take a look at how it's different. It is definitely different. The P is much different. The letters are all shaped differently. It has an arch. It's instead of being straight. It's a completely different logo. And just to clarify, whoa, this zoom is weird. You can see right here. Do you see that? You see what that says? Hogan Mania. It's the logo from the website. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything that guy did with the Bandcamp, okay? The guy on Bandcamp doesn't own the rights to this logo at all. It's been on this DeFont website for over 11 years for both personal and commercial use. Anyone can use it for personal use, and if someone wants to use it to sell products, they have to donate $10. It's right there in black and white, okay? That's how this is all being used. So all these morons who are making shit up are full of crap. Now, you might say, well, that's not enough evidence, because take a look again at this back here. It says Philomania trademark, right? Trademark. So that must mean that it was trademarked by somebody else, okay? Really? Would you like to spend a couple minutes here just to confirm that? All right, you ready for this? So we're going to go over, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a United States trademark search, all right? First thing we're going to search for is Philomania. We've got Flamingo, Flaminaire, Flamin, Flemans. Do you see Philomania anywhere? They show you all the things that are similar to how it sounds or looks. You see Philomania anywhere. There is no match whatsoever for Philomania in the United States trademark database because no one has ever filed a trademark for Philomania. So right now, I can tell you this Bandcamp trademark is completely fake. They never trademarked it whatsoever. They own no rights to this logo whatsoever. Okay? But you might say, oh, but Phil, what about variations? Okay, what about Phil-a-mania? See Fast Fills. I see Hulkamania for something that was a vitamin supplement that was owned by Marvel Entertainment Group. Now that's an interesting one. Charm Fill. As you can see, guess what? There's no Philomania. Why? Because it doesn't exist. Because there was no ever trademark filed for this whatsoever. Okay? Doesn't exist. So, there is no ownership of the Philomania logo whatsoever in the United States. But then you might say, well, wait a minute, Phil. What if it was internationally? Well, that's good because we have the global database here too. As you can see, this is the global database of trademarks. Let's try it here. Philomania. No results found. Okay, let's try it again. Umania has results. Just Umania. No Philomania. And there's Phil, but no Philomania, brother. Uh-oh, brother. We may have some duty I smell, brother. Ooh, yeah. But anyway, one more thing, just to prove that this is real and it works, watch this. Hulkamania, which is actually where all this spawned from, because this is actually a parody or a spin-off of the Hulkamania logo. Oh, look at that. Hulkamania, owned by Hogan Holdings. Hulkamania, owned by Mr. Terry Bollea. Do you know who that is? Hulk Hogan. That's his real name. So all versions of Hulkamania, as you can see, are owned either by Hulk Hogan or Marvel Entertainment Group or Hogan Holdings, which is probably his company that owns all the rights to his stuff. He owns all the rights to Hulkamania. So the website works. It's real. It's just that no one actually owns the trademark to Philomania at all. Now, if you don't know how trademark works, this is how trademark law works. In order to file a trademark, you have to show that you have some pre-existing use of said mark or that you have intention to use it for something. So, for example, in my case, okay, I'm going to be selling shirts that say Philomania. If I so choose, I could file a trademark for selling of that logo on merchandise, such as shirts. And then that would be in my ownership and no one else would be able to do that. Okay? Now, 99.99999% of people do that. They don't do that at all. They don't bother because it's not a big deal. But my detractors have to fucking do this shit to make it a big deal, even though they have no legal standing whatsoever to say or do the things that they do. They're just all full of shit. Okay? So, some people might say, well, why don't you just file for one? Because it costs a lot of money and it costs time. It costs many hundreds of dollars to file for a trademark. Okay? I haven't even sold any merch yet. I have no pre-existing business yet to even establish and say, hey, look, I'm using it. Now I should own the trademark. Okay? That's why. So if I were to start selling merch and it's Philomania and it's popular, then I could file a trademark for it and then I would own it and no one could fuck around with it, right? But this is the point I'm making. No one does this. Literally no one does this stuff because you don't need to. Unless like you're a giant business. Like Hulkamania, yes. Why? Because Hulk Hogan, that's his whole thing. He needs to own Hulkamania because he still sells tons of merch. He appears in things. He uses the phrase. By having this under his name, this is absolutely great for him. It makes sense. For someone who's just getting a business started, who's just going to start selling a few shirts here or there, you wouldn't get a trademark for it. You don't need to. All right? These morons are so dumb. They think that this is evidence that there's a trademark. There is no trademark for this phrase, this logo, or any of this anywhere. It doesn't exist. They're making it up. They're a bunch of fucking no-load losers who will continue to make shit up. So I'm just going to say this. Stop fucking listening to these people. Stop it. Why would you even entertain what they say for a moment? They literally have never told the truth on anything. They're always twisting it, telling lies. They actually looked at this page and they thought this is a right to this person owning it because it said TM on it. How fucking stupid can you be? By the way, you see this? This is illegal. They don't own the rights to the WWF logo, yet they're using the WWF logo on this Bandcamp page for a product that they're selling. So this entire thing here is illegal. Unless they can prove that they paid for the rights to use the WWF logo, which I'm fairly certain they didn't. So, I mean, we can keep going here. Do we really need to keep going down this rabbit hole of bullshit that they have created? Or can we just say, okay, enough of the nonsense. Let's stop paying attention to idiots like guys whose name are fucking Doody, right? And say none of these people have any kind of logic in their fucking head, right? Can we just stop with the nonsense? Thank you. Okay, so there's no trademark for Philomania whatsoever. I went to a legitimate site, paid for the use of the font via a $10 donation. It's been legally registered on this site since November 17th, 2013, so it's been there for 11 years. I have the rights to use this for commercial use now because I paid for it. And here's the person who made the logo out of the font for me that I'm going to be using on merchandise, period. There is no more questioning, okay? At all. None. It's over, okay? So we can stop talking about this bullshit now because this is so dumb. It's just a waste of everyone's time, all right? I didn't even want, honestly, I wasn't even going to talk about this today. This was not a topic of my discussion today. And then overnight, I got people sending me shit. Oh, did you know that this person said this? This person said this. This person. Why am I paying attention? Why do I even care? Right? I don't know. But if I don't do this, I have to put up with harassment and nonsense. You know, it's just fucking stupid. Exactly. They're wasting everyone's time. You're absolutely right. And people entertain it for some bizarro reason. Why would you ever listen to something one of my detractors say? They're always full of shit. They're always twisting the truth, over-exaggerating, and they have no point to fucking make. They're always lying to try to make content to get clicks, views, and money. Why would you believe them? So now we've wasted about 15 to 20 minutes of my show on that bullshit because of these fucking assholes and people asking me about this, right? So there you go, all right? Okay.
You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube.